Or not, man, here it comes. We are knee deep into December, and we appreciate everybody coming along for our ride. And of course, once upon a time, this time of year meant it was Starrcade season. So we're going to get in our Wayback Machine and talk about Arn's very first Starrcade. Starrcade 85, The Gathering, took place on November 28th at the Greensboro Coliseum in North Carolina and from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Can you believe? I mean, this is unbelievable, but can you believe this was 35 years ago?
You know, just about every day something will come up, and it's not even things of this worthiness to remember and go back in your head, and you just go, God, can you believe it was that many years ago? And 35, wow, unbelievable.
I mean, technically 34, but come on, I'm rounding. Close enough for government work. The Greensboro show, the home of Starrcade, has a $307,000 gate, 16,000 folks there. Of course, it's a sellout. Atlanta, also huge crowd, $285,000. Now, this is the first time they've done this. Of course, this is the third Starrcade. And let's keep in mind, this is way before WrestleMania 3. The first WrestleMania was 85, but this is the first Starrcade, and they're running two venues, two sold out houses, two incredible gates. I mean, have you ever been a part of something this big at this point in your career? I mean, this is by far the biggest show you'd ever been on, right?
God, no, just the magnitude of what was going on, that you had Atlanta sold out and you had Greensboro sold out and you had enough talent on that crew in its entirety to sell out two cities like that is just mind-boggling.
The total gate of both live arenas is $936,000. And of course, we've got closed circuit television showing this. This is before pay-per-view. It's really pretty remarkable when you think about it, because Mid-South has Starrcade 85 on closed circuit in the Superdome. So you can actually attend the Superdome and watch the show on the big screen. But also that night, Jake Roberts is going to be in action wrestling Lord Humongous. Butch Reed and Jim Duggan are going to take on Dick Slater and Buzz Sawyer. So there was something for the live crowd at the Superdome as well. The infancy of pay-per-view here. Did you ever see wrestling on closed circuit?
No, God, no. I'd seen it like everybody else. You go down to an arena and, you had a live event and you had about a 2.5 hour show or 3 hours sometimes. And that was it. You'd see it on TV, syndication in the morning and cable in the evening. And that was it.
It's such an incredible thing to go back and look at because, for better or worse, most people consider Vince McMahon sort of the godfather of pay-per-view, but Jim Crockett Promotions is actually doing closed circuit television viewing for their pay-per-views before Vince McMahon. This is before WrestleMania 2, which took place in 3 cities. Well, here we are at Starrcade. They're doing 2 cities, and this is before WrestleMania 2 had closed circuit. We've got closed circuit here for Starrcade 85. Do you think it's, obviously to the victor go the spoils, or whatever that slogan is, or that catchphrase? It's a little, I don't know, unfair that Jim Crockett doesn't get credit for some of this, because in the end, everybody's just going to say, oh, Vince McMahon, such an innovator. But Jim Crockett was a hell of an innovator as well.
Well, yeah, he was. And he had at that time, he had the tools to be leading, the industry. I think he got in over his head. He had a vision for one thing, closed circuit. And, you go back now and we're all Monday morning quarterbacks. We're always going to say that. That's an old cliche that makes you want to puke every time somebody says it, but it's true. Can you imagine if the guys they already had in mind that were going to be their stars, and you had a pretty good grip on it by then, if that both of those arenas were loaded down with marketing, What if Conrad Thompson would have had the marketing on those two shows? Can you imagine the revenue would have been brought in that night?
Well, that's quite the compliment. It's a different time, of course. This is pre almost anything, pre cell phone, certainly pre podcast, pre internet. I mean, this is a different time and place, but this wrestling program that Jim Crockett had put together is getting people to not just come out to the arena to watch it, but getting people to go to the arena to watch it on a big screen, like you're going to the movie theater. It's pretty remarkable. And they're doing this big event, not just in one city, but across two cities. It's just unheard of. And I'm sure a lot of our younger listeners who were, say younger than 30 have no idea what closed circuit television even is, but it's just really remarkable what they were able to put together. Now, you wrestled on the Omni version of this show in Atlanta. What do you think of the concept? One show in Greensboro, one in Atlanta.
Well, it was, innovative, for lack of a better term. Nothing comes to mind that would cover the grand scale that we're talking about, and flip flopping back and forth from a live event in those cities to go to closed circuit and then rotate back, I believe is the way they did it. And they just bounced back and forth between the two venues. So you got an unbelievable card, unbelievable show. And just, like I said, the whole magnitude of it was just pretty overwhelming.
What,